Yes, good evening, class. So, in today's lecture, we are going to look at understanding the group dynamics. So, our last Tuesday, in last time's lecture, we look at introduction to organizational behavior, of which we look at the different theories under organizational theory, under organizational behavior, and then some are theories of motivational under motivation. So in today's lecture, let's look at understanding the group in organization. Group dynamic. Group dynamic refer. So before looking at group dynamic, we should know that one of the most aspects of organizational behavior is understanding how group function and interact within the organization. So we should know what is the definition of a group. So a group can be defined as groups, a collection of individuals who share a common identity, goal, or interest, and who influence each other's behavior. That can be the definition for group. Or in other words, a group can be defined as two or more individuals who interact with one another and perceive themselves as a unit. That is a group. They perceive themselves as a unit. So the definition of a group dynamic refers to the process that occurs within a group, including the interactions and relationship among group members. That can be the definition of a group dynamic. Or in other words, a group dynamics, it processes that shape the behavior and performance of a group. For example, communication, conflict, decision making, motivation, and power. So understanding group dynamic can help managers and leaders to foster collaboration, creativity, and productivity among group members. So here they're telling us group can be formal. For example, a team or department within an organization, that can be a group. It can be informal, for example, social group or friendship cycle. That's concerning group. So let's look at teamwork and team building. Teamwork refers to the process of working together to achieve a common goal. That is teamwork. Teamwork is it can be the ability of a group members to work together cooperatively and harmoniously towards a shared objectives. So teamwork, they look at a common objectives. They have one objective that they want to fulfill. So teams can be defined as groups of individuals who work together independently to achieve a common goal or a set of goals. That can be defined, we can define teams in that way. All teams can be classified in different ways, such as task teams, which are created to complete specific tasks or projects, and permanent teams, which are ongoing teams that are responsible for specific functions or operation within an organization. In other words, the team can be classified in different ways. For example, task team. When you're given task to accomplish, you can form up a team. So then we have permanent teams, which are ongoing teams that are responsible for specific functions or operations within an organization. So the permanent team, it is there permanent. So this task team, it can be maybe for a short period of time after accomplishing your task. That is the aim. But the permanent one, it is there permanent. They give you that responsibility for a specific functions or operation within an organization. Team building is the process of creating and maintaining effective teams. We can define team building in that way. In teamwork and team building can improve the quality of work outcomes as well as functions and well-being of a group members. That can be one of the importance of teamwork and team building. Effective team are characterized by high levels of trust, communication, and cooperation among team members. So when you want your team to be effective, there must be a high level of trust. You must trust each other within the team. If there is no trust, it means your team will not be effective. So communication, you have to communicate to each other within the group, within the team. Then cooperation, you have to work together. You have to work together. When you say let's do this, you do that. That is teamwork. You work everything together among the team members. Team building can involve a variety of activities such as team building exercise. You can have team building exercise, retreats, and training programs. You can have training programs designed to improve communication. You can design to improve communication among yourself. Trust, you can design to improve that trust among yourself. And cooperation among the team members, you can try to improve you can design to improve cooperation among team members. So let's look at the differences between team and a group. A team is a collection of individuals who work together towards a common goal. On the other hand, a group can simply refer to a gathering of people with a shared interest or affiliation, but they may not necessarily work together as a specific objectives. So when we look at a team is a collection of individuals who work together towards a common goal. So a team, individuals, they work together for a specific team. Whereas a group, it simply people can gather together, but they shared interest or affiliation, but it doesn't necessarily, they don't work together toward a specific objectives. Everyone have their specific objectives that they want to fulfill, but though they work together, they share, they gather together with a shared interest. They all have the same interest. They share interest or affiliation, but they have different specific objectives that can be a different over team and group. In a team, individuals work together towards a common goal, whereas in a group, individuals may be together, but they have different specific objectives. Teams often have a defined structure with assigned roles and responsibility for each member. So in a team, it has a defined structure with assigned roles. Always in a team, they assign roles and responsibility for each member in that team. Whereas in a group, however, the structure may be more fluid and the roles are often not as clearly defined. So you may find out that in a group, the roles are not defined clearly. So we can let's look at so when we look at the team, though they are a team and a group, there are two differing organizational structures that can be used to achieve common goals. So we have looked at the differences. So let's look at communication. Communication in group and team building. Yes. So communication is the process of exchanging information and ideas between individuals or groups. Communication can take place through a variety of channels, such as verbal. Communication can be verbal, which is face-to-face, telephone. It can be written. For example, you may use emails, memos, and non-verbal. For example, body language, visual expression. You may So, in other words, communication is the exchange of information, ideas, feelings, and feedback among individuals. So, it is an exchange of information, ideas, feelings, and feedback among individuals or groups. So, communication is essential for an organization as it facilitates coordination, cooperation, learning, and innovation. Communication can be verbal, that when we have looked at it, it can be verbal. For example, it can be face-to-face, telephone, it can be written. For example, it can be in email or memos, and normal and non-verbal, which are body language, visual expressions. So effective communication is characterized by clear and accurate transmission of information as well as active listening and feedback. So if you want your communication to be effective, you have to be clear and accurate in transmission of information. So, and you have to be active listening and giving the feedback. So when someone is talking to you, you have to be actively listening, and then afterwards you give out the feedback. Yes. So let's look at leadership. Leadership refers to the process of influencing and guiding others to achieve a common goal or a set of goals. Leadership can take many forms, and can be formal or informal. In other words, leadership can be the process of influencing others to achieve a common goal or vision. That can be um, you can we can look at leadership in that way. The process of influencing others to achieve a common goal, or it can be a vision or a set of goals. But leadership can be exhibited by anyone in the organization, regardless of their position or authority. Leadership can be classified into different styles, such as autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, transmissional, transactional. So leadership can be classified into different styles. So formal leaders are individuals who are informally designated as leaders within an organization, such as managers, leaders can take many forms and can be formal or informal. Formal leaders are individuals who are formally designated as leaders within an organization, such as managers or supervisors. Those are formal leaders. Formal leaders. So we have informal leaders are individuals who emerge as leaders within a group or team due to their personal characteristics or actions. So that we can be formal and informal leaders. So let's look at different theories in leadership. So we have different theories. We have different leadership theories in an organization. So different leadership theories have been proposed in field of organizational behavior. So one, we have threat theory. One, we have a threat theory. This theory proposes that leaders are born with certain traits or characteristics that make them effective leaders. So in this theory assumes that the leaders have certain innate characteristics or traits that make them effective. So in this theory, it believes that leaders are born, they have those characteristics that they are born with. In other words, for the examples of such traits are intelligence, charisma, confidence. So according to this theory, leaders are born, not made. This is the theory of threat theory. This is a theory of threat. For it believes that leaders are born but not made. So they are born already with the characteristic of being confident, of being decisive, of being intelligent. They're already born, but they're not made. So we have another theory, which is behavioral theory. This theory proposes that effective leadership is the result of specific behaviors of action. So in this theory, it believes that how an individual behave, or the actions of that individual, it can effective leadership is as the result of specific behavior or actions. So, in other words, this theory focuses on the actions and behaviors of the leader rather than their personality or traits. This theory doesn't look at their personality or traits. They basically look at the actions of an individual and their behaviors of that leader. It suggests that leaders can be trained and developed. So in this behavior, it believes that leaders can be trained. They can be trained and be developed by learning specific skills and styles. For example, those skills such as skills and styles are task-oriented, people-oriented, democratic, and autocratic. So in this, it believes that examples of such skills and styles can be task-oriented. So if an individual is taught task-oriented, people-oriented, and democratic or autocratic, specifically can become leaders. So for this theory, it doesn't believe in leaders are born but not made. So in this theory, it believes that leaders actually can be made. That is behavioral theory. So let's look at transformational theory. This theory proposes that effective leaders inspire and motivate followers to achieve higher levels of performance and personal growth. Performance and personal growth. So in this theory, in other words, this theory emphasizes the role of leaders in inspiring and motivating their followers to achieve a shared vision and goals. It suggests that leaders can be transformed the values, beliefs, and attitudes of their followers by providing them with a sense of purpose, recognition, and empowerment. So, transformation theory specifically, it emphasizes the role of leaders in inspiring and motivating their followers to achieve a shared vision and a goal. So in this theory, it believes that a leader should inspire and motivate the followers to achieve higher levels of performance and growth and personal growth. So let's look at situational theory. This theory proposes that the most effective leadership styles varies depending on the situation. So this is specifically, it looks at the situation. This in other words, situational theory proposes that there is no one best way to lead. Is no one best way to lead, but rather the most effective leadership styles depend on the situation and the context. So for it believes that there is no way you can lead, but rather the effective leadership styles depend on the situation. It will for you to determine a leader, it depends on the situation. It depends on the situation and the context. It suggests that the leaders should adapt their styles to the factors such as the environment and the followers' needs and expectations. In other words, in this theory, for a leader to lead effectively, it means you have to adopt. You have to adopt. You have to know the environment that you're in, the environment that you're living in, the environment that you're leading, the people that stays in that environment. You have to um, understand them, and then your followers' needs and expectations. You have to know what are your followers' needs and what are their expectations for that. This is for effective leadership. So effective leaders are characterized by a number of traits and behaviors such as vision, integrity, intelligence, and emotional intelligence. So effective leaders are characterized by a number of traits and behaviors that enable to inspire and and influence others, achieve their goals, and overcome challenges. Um, some of these strengths can be, as we have looked, such as vision. So, vision. What could vision be? Effective leaders have a clear and compiling vision of a future that they communicate to their followers. They align their actions and decisions with their vision and help others see how they can contribute it. So that is all about vision. So when we look at integrity, effective leaders act with honest. You must act with honest, transparency, and consistency. They uphold ethical standards and values and hold themselves and others accountable. So you must those traits and behaviors must be you must be effective leaders must be characterized by integrity. And so we have intelligence. Effective leaders have a high level of cognitive ability that allows them to analyze complex situations. So you must have that contingent ability that will allow you to analyze complex situations, solve problems, and make sound judgments. They are also open to learning. You must be open to learning new things and seeking feedback to improve themselves and their performance. So that is intelligence. And we have emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence uh, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage their own emotions and those of others. How do you manage your emotions? How do you recognize or how do you understand your emotions and your own emotion and also those of others? You must be able to understand or to manage some your followers your followers emotions. They are empathetic, compassionate, and respectful. They can adapt to different situations and people and handle stress and conflict effectively. So you must adopt. You must be able to adapt to different situations and people because people are different. So you must be able to adopt different people and handle stress. You must be able how to handle stress and then conflict effectively. If there is conflict, how do you handle that? That is emotional. That is emotional intelligence. So thank you for today's lecture. We shall meet in the next lecture which will that we shall conduct.